So what is Islamic finance? Islamic finance is that finance which is compliant with Sharia law. Now, what is the Sharia is actually an Arabic word, which means three things. It is a comprehensive word, which includes this Sharia law is derived from number one, Quran, the holy book of God. Second, teachings and practices of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Now, and the third one is it is derived from the the word is ijma. Again, it is an Arabic word, ijma. What is ijma? Ijma is basically consensus of scholars, Muslim scholars, on an issue in the light of above two. Ijma. So there are basically three sources of Sharia law. Three sources. Now, this consensus will be in the light of above two only. Any departure will be null and void. Now, so let us proceed further. Islamic finance is basically based on sharing and caring. That is the base. That is the concept. Basically, the concept is that a business should not be the wholly undertaking. The objective should not be only profit. Rather, the economic benefit the enterprise is deriving, it should incorporate in it the social welfare and employment, help for the society. It should incorporate that. So riba is prohibited, strictly prohibited. Riba, which is interest, conventional interest. Interest, whatever we have been studying so far, interest-based economy, that is not allowed in Islamic, what we call it, law. Next. So what is riba? That I give loan and I will charge you interest. So payment of interest and receipt of interest, both are not allowed. Payment of interest and receipt of interest, both are not allowed. Both are not allowed. So riba is generally interpreted as the predetermined interest rate collected by a lender over and above the principal amount. This ban is by Quran. Absolute, no, means no more discussion. Unacceptable. But from the perspective of borrower, lender, and the economy, why riba is not good? For the borrower, I take loan from the bank to do a business at 10% per annum. I took 1 million. It means annually I have to pay 100,000 as interest. Now I am doing business with it and I suffered loss in the business. Still, I must have to pay interest. Or if I earn profit of 30,000, now I will pay interest and again it will turn into loss of 70,000 because I have to pay 100,000. So when the enterprise make a profit which is less than interest, turning their profit into loss. So this is unfair. That I have not earned a single penny for me and I am paying the interest to the lender. Unfair. Unfair. For the lender will receive 10% only if it is fixed. Whatever is fixed at the advance. And in the high inflation economy, he will be getting 10%. Inflation exceeds to become 12%. So he is getting return below the inflation rate. Not fair. For the economy, it results in misallocation of resources. What does it mean? Listen, a very interesting point. Normally, when you go for loan to the bank, and a famous quotation of one of my boss, ex-boss, is that banks offer loans to the people who don't need them. Means the business of organization which are suffering, which are in problem, they need loan the most, but the banks do not give loan to them. Because there is greed of riba, greed for interest. This is basically capitalist, that I will take my return. Even you have to sell your body parts. Sell, pay me interest. Isn't it? So the poor countries in the world, they take loan from the rich countries in the world. And this cycle goes on. Poor countries keep compromising on the health and education system of their people. But they keep paying the interest payments to the rich countries. Installments. It happens. So the poor countries or poor people, first of all, they don't get loan. And if they get, interest rate is high for them. Means who needs the most, they are not getting money. Unfortunately. Is it clear? Good. Now, thank you. So Islamic finance products, Islamic finance items, one by one. Musharaka, Mudarba, Murahbaha, Ijara, Sukuk. What is Mudarba? One by one. There are two more, Salam and Istasna. That's not mentioned here. Mudarba is basically a contract like that. One person is a provider of finance. And the other person provides skills. They pool, he runs the business. Because he's providing skill. He only provides funds. He is called Mudarib. He is called Rabbul Mal. Rabbul Mal means owner of funds. He does not interfere in the operations, does not involve in the operations. He manages the operations only. Now, so they will share profit as per agreement, but loss is for Rabbul Mal only. Yes, loss is his only. And you may be saying, sir, this is unfair. This is unfair. Both should bear loss. He is also bearing loss. He is investing his skills there, time there. And in case of loss, he is getting nothing. It is also loss. Big loss for him. What each had, he had skill, he contributed, he had fund, he contributed. Loss. So both are facing loss. Simple as that. Now, so capital injection, skill and part, and profit and loss. I have told you, you will read it yourself. Now, the next is musharaka. Musharaka. So what is musharaka? It is like partnership, where partners bring, all partners invest. Capital as well as expertise. Investment may be of different amount, maybe. Any profit is shared among them as per the agreed ratio. But the loss, very important. Profit as per agreed, whatever agreed. For example, Mr. A, B, C, and D. 50 million, 25 million, 40 million, and 100 million. And initially they agreed he will get 30% profit. He will get 20% profit. He will get 15% profit. Make it 25. He will get 25% remaining. Because of the duties they are performing, role they are performing. So profit sharing. And if loss occur, loss will be distributed as per the weight of investment. Yes. You see, it is not permissible to fix a lump sum profit that we will give you 100,000 every year. No, you cannot fix. Now, I hope this point is clear. Next is murabaha, trade credits. It is a deferred payment sale or installment credit sale. It is used for purchase of goods for immediate delivery on deferred payment terms. So seller delivers the goods, they pay the goods later. Now, listen please. For example, I need some goods in the market, the price is 2 million. I don't have funds. I go to a party and say, can you buy me this 2 million price goods? He buys this price in the market. This is market price. He says, Mr. Hamza, how you will pay me? I say, I will pay in 3 years installment. He said, then you will pay me 2.3 million. Pay in 3 years time installment. It is like that. Mr. X buys at 2 million and then sells me for 2.3 million. Yes. So we know how much extra they are charging. 0.3 million extra than the market. For convenience of paying late. Now, I will sell these goods. I will buy from him. He will provide me for 2 million, 2.3 million. I will sell. For example, I sell these for 3 million. And in the meanwhile, I will pay 2.3 million. So the convenience is that they can use the good to generate profit and then pay through repay. Students, just see here. The advantage to the buyer is that they can use the goods to generate profit. Now, listen. You may say, Mr. Hamza, it is similar to the conventional finance, isn't it? You may ask the question. The bank is charging interest. Bank buys the car and then provide us, and we are utilizing the car. Bank is charging. We are paying bank installments with interest and principal repayment. This question arises, and it is a valid question. I have answer for it. The answer is simple. That this is the price once fixed. Once it is fixed, it cannot be altered. It cannot be changed. Once fixed, it cannot be changed. Yes. Once fixed means that in the lease, what happens? If I do not pay additional interest, it happens. And there are other conditions as well. Anyways, so the underlying asset can be raw material, can be goods for resale. Normally, raw material goods for resale in the Murabaha, it is not for cars or the vehicles or fixed assets. It is for raw materials and the goods stock. Certain condition, the goods object in the contract must exist and be owned by the seller. Means bank will buy and then sell me. Price and object, quality and quantity, it should be, both are accepted. Price should be within the fair market range. The object must have a value in itself. Yes. Very important. It should not be prohibited by object. If we are buying alcohol, pork, it is not allowed. Muraba is not allowed. You cannot deal with prohibited goods, drugs. You cannot deal. The buyer in contract can demand the objectives of food suitable quality and is not defective, of course. So same story has been explained it. You can, a very good summary, a very good summary. You can read it yourself. Now, ijara. Sukuk and salam. Ijara is alternative to lease. Right of use of assets. Rented assets. It is similar thing. Two types of lease are there, operating lease and finance lease. The difference is what will happen at the end of the term. I have got an asset on lease for 5 years. I will be using asset and I will paying rents for using the asset. And after 5 years, I will transfer the asset back to the lessor, operating lease. Remember, for ijara, the asset should be tangible, non-perishable. It should not be goods. If it is goods, then it is murabaha. So after 4 or 5 years, agreed term, I will return the assets. And in the finance lease, I pay rental on a regular basis for use of asset, and at the end I purchase myself from them. So when we go for operating lease and finance lease, things are defined. How much the rental will be paid. For example, in the conventional banking, what happens? They decide, they calculate rental based on interest rate. And sometimes rentals change as well because of the change in interest rates. It happens. Now, so with an operating rental can be fixed or floating. And at the part of lease agreement, the amount at which the lessee will purchase asset in the lease, it is decided. You will pay 5 years this and this rental, at the end you will pay this money you get. So this is the conventional. Now, how much it is has a resemblance with ijara and what is the difference? We are going to talk. In both form of ijara, lessor is the owner of the asset and incurs all risk associated with ownership, while the lessee bears the risk. Now, let me tell you a major difference. Listen, I have leased a car from a bank. The bank name is SBM for 5-year installment plan. The car got damaged in an accident or got stolen or got damaged. I still have to pay rental to the bank. Is it so? Tell me. I still have to pay the rental to the bank, although I will claim from insurance company. Am I right? Am I right? Tell me. Yeah. Even the car is damaged, I still have to pay the rentals. But in ijara, it doesn't happen. If car is not in my use, I am not owner of the car, you are owner of the car. The car got damaged, car is not in my use, I will not pay any rental. This is both parties share loss. I am not the owner, why I have to pay rental? You are the owner, I am using the car, I am paying you the rent for that. Daily maintenance is my responsibility. Major maintenance is yours because you are owner. Yes. Now, you see here, if in case of loss of assets, lessee is no longer obliged to pay the rental. Lessor has full recourse. Yes, they will get insurance, of course. So cook, students, just give me 2 minutes. I will take a glass of water for me. I have already taken all that. So I'll be back and I will continue with the sukuk in 2 minutes. Now, sukuk, bond. Alternative to bond. What happens when the company issues a bond? Company issues a bond, take money, pay fixed interest, and utilizes the funds whenever it wants. But in Sukuk, it doesn't happen. Company tells people, these are the bonds, Sukuk, you will purchase these bonds. We will be utilizing this money to purchase this and this asset. And we will give you return earned by this asset. Return earned by this asset. Now, so asset backed and asset based Sukuk, two types. Let us try to understand the difference. I will discuss this one first. Asset backed. An entity, special purpose vehicle is created. Focus everyone. Very interesting. An entity is created. People purchase the bond issued by the vehicle. Now, that vehicle invests in the assets, leasing portfolios. You see here, they pay an issue price to the company, Sukholder. SPV issue certificate indicating the percentage they own in the SPV. I have purchased 100 bonds. They tell me I own 10% share in the company, 15%, whatever it is. Now the SPV will then purchase a portfolio of assets which are already generating fund income. This is very important. In return, the SPV obtain the title deed of assets, those portfolio, 10, 15 assets. The leased asset will be earning positive returns, which are now paid to SPV. Now SPV then make the distribution to the Sukholder. Simple as that. Very simple. Let us draw it here. SPV issues Sukuk, and here are Sukuk holders. They pay money, and they are now owners in SPV. Now SPV but makes investment in return generating assets. They purchase assets, maybe property, maybe some other, which are generating return. Now SPV is owner of it, and they are making return to them. Return. Profits. Now with that profit, SPV is making payments to them. Periodic payment and ultimately capital repayments. Now, is it clear so far? This story is clear. Now, next. So asset-backed sukuk has attribute of equity. The asset is owned by SPV. All of the risk and reward of ownership pass to SPV. Hence, if the return failed to arise, sukuk holders suffer the loss. And the redemption for the sukuk holder is at open market value. Their money is returned at the open market value, which can be nil. Now, come to the asset-based sukuk. What is the difference? Asset-backed and asset-based. Listen, once again, sukuks are issued to the public. Sukuks are issued to the public at a price. Now, so SPV issues them certificate, the percentage of ownership, same thing, same story. Now, SPV use the funds raised and purchases the asset from seller. Seller. A company, for example, a company which needs funds. So we purchase their asset, we give them funds and lease them. So legal ownership is passed to SPV. So up till now the story is same. Now here is difference. Now SPV now act as a lessor. Now we lease the asset back to the same person under an ijara. Asset is utilized by them. We are the owner, we lease back. The obligor or the lessee pay the rental to SPV, as SPV the owner and the lessor of assets. And then the periodic distributions are made. Now, next. Now you see here the difference. Asset-based and asset-backed. SPV raises funds. Same happens here. SPV purchase assets from a seller or obligor and then lease that back to the same person. Now SPV becomes lessor and obligor, or original seller becomes lessee. Now lessee pays rentals and these rentals to SPV, and SPV distributes return or repayments to sukuk holders. Repayments, sukuk holders. One more thing. If sukuk holder has to return the money, he wants it redemption of sukuk holder investment is at predetermined price, not at market price. The price which is decided initially. Now, next. So, students, so you see here, it is one more thing over here. One more thing over here. So you see here, who is paying the payment? Lessee. If lessee defaults, what happens? If lessee defaults, they have right over that asset. They have right. So you see here, asset based, some other explanation here. A very good. If obligor, as the obligor is the lessee, the sukuk holder has recourse to him. They have right over him to get that payment, to get that asset back. It is like a debt. Default, yes, sukuk holder has right against him because it is fixed payment of rentals they are making. Now, so this asset based sukuk is closer to debt. It is closer to debt. Now, asset backed sukuk. Asset backed sukuk. Same thing. SPV raises funds and SPV invests in income generating assets, maybe properties. So income received by SPV is distributed to sukuk holders. If loss occurs, of course, they suffer loss. Yes. Sorry. Now, so in case of loss, they have to suffer loss. They have to suffer loss. Redemption is at market price, which can be nil. Here, redemption is at predetermined price. So you see, it is more close to equity. More close to equity. Now, next. Students, now tell me the difference between, the difference between asset-based and asset-backed. Is it clear? Yes, please. Salam and istisna. 2 words. Salam is basically, it is for the future sale. It is for the future sale, in which advance payment is made. The seller undertakes to supply specific goods to buyer at a future date. Advance price paid at the time of contract. It is necessary that the quality of commodity intended to be purchased is fully specified, leaving no ambiguity. Quantity, quality, and workman, everything must be. This is ideal for agriculture financing, for the working capital needs. In Islamic law, Sharia law, forward sales are prohibited. Remember, such sales, but this is exception, service exception, because there are certain conditions, strict condition. Buyer pay the price in full at the time. Now, advance payment full. Quantity and quality of goods can be exactly specified. Now, quantity and quality can be specified. And you see here, for example, precious stone cannot be sold based on salam because quantity, quality, and specification is not possible. Yeah, very good. Salam is not affected on the commodities, for example, where you cannot specify what will happen. For example, you cannot say, this is my farm field, wheat field. What will be the crop? After 6 months, we will get, it is yours, pay now. Quantity cannot be specified now. Quality cannot be specified. Not allowed. So you see, this is the story. Quality, quantity, and date is specified. Then salam is Yes, possible. This is for the animals. That animals, kettles, where is uncertain. Uncertain. For example, they say we have cows and they will give birth to the, they're, so calves, they will give birth to the calves. So now what, and we are going to sell it now, advance. No, not allowed. Because quality, quantity, it is not possible to make specified. Yes. Now, istasna. Istasna. It is for the manufactured goods, by the way. It is for the manufactured goods, which are made in the, for example, factory. A person places order with me, 5,000 units. I say, make advance payment, please. I need funds to make it. Advance payment. So place an order with the manufacturer, assemble or construct to deliver at future date. So they must have to deliver at the future date. Sale is already done. The purpose is to finance the manufacturing and construction, highway, roads. After giving prior notice, either party can cancel the contract. But before the manufacturing has begun, once work starts, contract cannot be cancelled. Remember. Now, so this is istasna. So it is done. Now, students, there was one topic, small topic in the AFM volume 1, which is what I remember is, let me open that. Now, duration, modified duration. This is the topic which we have not done. Duration, we have learned how to calculate, how to interpret. Now, so modified duration is, it measures the sensitivity of price of the bond, market value of bond, to change in interest rate. Yes. So modified duration is Macaulay duration, simple duration, divided by 1 plus gross redemption yield. Yes. Gross redemption yield. What is gross redemption yield? If you remember, it is the yield till maturity of bond. How it is calculated? Gross redemption yield through IRR. It is calculated, or it is sometimes given. Just 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute, please. I'm just checking it. Which example is being referred over here? For example, an asset, a bond has had simple duration of this. Its yield till maturity is this, gross redemption yield. Gross redemption yield means which is pre-tax cost of debt. Pre-tax cost of debt. Gross redemption yield, pre-tax. Divided by 1 plus rate, so 2.74. Now, so modified duration is equal to change in the price of the bond. P for current price, and Y is the change in, actually what we are doing, we are trying to calculate the impact on the price of the bond. Because of, you see, two things, change in price of bond and change due to change in interest rate. Interest rate is gross redemption yield. If you remember, we used to calculate yield plus spread. Yield curve plus spread. We used to calculate. Do you remember that? Pre-tax cost of debt. Do you remember that? So it is same. Gross redemption yield is the same. So what is the impact on, if the interest rate change, pre-tax cost of debt, what is the impact on the price of the bond? The change. So you see here, this is the formula. Macaulay duration is equal to change in the price of the bond, change divided by current price multiplied by change in interest rate. Change in interest rate. Yes. And students, now, so come here. Properties of duration. So the longer dated bonds have high modified duration because present value of cash flows of bond, that is equal to market value of bond. And present value factor, interest rate is changed, discount rate is being changed. Longer the duration, there will be more change. So longer duration term bond are more sensitive towards change in interest rate. More sensitive. And therefore more risky. Now, so students, lower coupon bonds will have a high modified duration. Interest rate is less. Coupon is less, but discount rate. So discount rate when change, present value change a lot. Yes. Now, the higher the modified duration, greater the sensitivity of the bond to change in yield. Yes. Now, so students, the point over here is, which need to be memorized, that is very much important. Longer date bonds have high modified duration, long duration. If coupon is less, annual regular payments are low. present value, interest rates are being changed. So present value will be affected. Yes, higher modified duration. Lower yields will give a high modified duration. Lower yield, we will prove it by the example. Just hold on, please. The benefit and limitation of duration. Yes. So it allows bond of different maturity than coupon rates to be compared directly. Now, how come? With the duration, we calculate weighted average time. If you remember, weighted average time for present value of returns. If you remember that, we learned that. So we cannot compare 5-year bond and 7-year bond. No. Yes, if two bonds have different durations, two different bonds, we can calculate their duration to assess that when the most of the returns we are getting, when most of the returns in the initial year of the bond or in the later years of the bond. Now, so students, if the bond portfolio is constructed based on the weighted average duration, it is possible to determine portfolio value changes based on, yes, very good, very good. You see here, you have selected the bonds and invested in the bonds based on their durations, weighted average durations. So interest rate change, you can assess how the value of the portfolio will change. It is just like change of interest rate, its impact on the price of the bond. You have selected portfolio of the bond for average duration of 3 years, for example. Now interest rate change, its impact on that can easily be calculated. Yes. So if manager wants to hedge, what they can do? They can invest maybe in the short-term bonds, in the longer-term bonds, and hence changing the duration of the bond. They can change their interest rate risk. Currently, they have invested, for example, 3-year duration. They think it is risky. They can invest in 2 years. They can change, divest, and invest some other bonds. Now, so students, these 3 points, is it clear? Tell me. These 3 points are clear? Tell me, please. These 3 points, please. Now, exactly, wonderful. The first 2 points. They say that it has a linear relationship. Interest rate and bond price. It has a linear relationship. Means you change interest rate, so equivalent price also changed. Yes, it assumes that a certain price percentage in interest will be an equal percentage in price. However, it does not happen like that in the linear fact practically, because other factors are also there. Convexity, it may be convex. Sometimes it is more, means sometimes change in interest rate and impact on the change in price may be more. Sometimes it is less. It may not be covalent. Hence, it may be convex. It may not be linear. It may not be covalent impact. You got this point. These limitations and these benefits are very important. Remember, very important. Is it clear? Tell me.